Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with a new knife unboxing slash discussion. Once again, this is the fourth kind of installment video of an amazing haul that I got sent in from my good buddy Jason. He has a great knife collection, really good taste in knives, and he sent me a big box of knives to check out, and this is kind of the last one in that in the videos that I wanted to post. So this is, as you can see with the giant lion logo, a Holt knife. I reviewed the Specter previously to this one, and this is his Holt Morpheus. Really, really nice packaging. This one comes in this really cool case versus an actual just box. Let's check out some of the goodies. You've got your NFC certificate of authenticity. We'll look at that in a minute. Talking about the adjustable detent. I think that's pretty much it other than the knife. So let's get this bad boy opened up. Set this to the side and take a look at this beauty. So I will not bore you guys. Please do go watch the Holt Specter video that I posted before you watch this one. I go into a little bit more detail, I think, than I will in this video. As far as Holt as a company is concerned, this one is the Holt Morpheus. Let's see what the certificate of authenticity tells us. So model is Morpheus liner lock. The grade is refined. This is knife number 178. It was born on January 11th, 2022. It's got titanium, bent starburst, burnished, and in nude. So I think what all that means is, I think the burnished means the hardware. The nude means it's not anodized, it's just the raw titanium. And of course, starburst pattern on titanium. The blade is M390 stonewashed 1.0. I'm not really sure what that means. I would assume that they have different levels of stonewashing and polishing, and maybe the 1.0 is this level. I don't, it doesn't really give any more information other than that, but it's definitely a beautiful stonewash with a polishing over the top of it, satin flats, and a mirror polished edge, and it is just absolutely epic. The clip is titanium burnished once again, like the other hardware, and anodized 15V. The back spacer is the exact same, burnished 15V anodized, and then it's got its serial number. So that's all the information we get. All that to say, this is a beautiful piece. So the Morpheus is a little bit more, you know, I've been trying to kind of compare the two, and let's grab, actually, while we're doing this, let's grab the other Holt Specter and kind of compare and contrast the differences, especially if you're a prospective buyer, kind of which one that you might be interested in. Especially when it comes down to size, because they are a little bit different. So here is the Specter. Let's get this bad boy opened up. So you can tell it's definitely, to say it's bigger, it's interesting because it's hard to say from here because we have a error as far as perspective, but you can see maybe in this dimension a little bit better that it's definitely longer. It's about the same in this dimension. Maybe the Morpheus is slightly thicker. As far as thickness goes, the Morpheus feels a little bit thicker, and I think you can tell that it's ever so slightly thicker, and for some reason I feel like it actually makes the knife feel a little bit bigger in hand. When you're gripping it, it feels a little bit more substantial than the Specter does. The Specter feels a little bit more long and skinny, whereas the Morpheus feels a little bit more hand-filling. Both are extremely comfortable thanks to this finger choil here. The Morpheus has an extremely nice hollow ground blade, very, very, very thin and slicey behind the edge, whereas the Specter has a full flat ground blade, very similar to say like a Spyderco or something like that. So very, very different in blade geometry between the two. The stonewash on the Morpheus is a lot more pronounced, as you can see, whereas the the Specter has almost more of a slight blast look to it. Not even a stonewash, but a blasting with a very nice polish over the top of it. So very, very different. As you can see, the Specter has the lion logo, and the Morpheus has just a sterile blade. Both are liner locks. They're very similar in their construction in that way. Let's take a closer look at the Morpheus since we've already kind of talked about the Specter. So the jimping, again, very refined, very rounded, not very grippy at all. It's more for indexing and letting your thumb know where the blade is more than actually gripping. That starburst pattern is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, if the sun was right here and kind of shooting the rays out, beautiful. Let's see if this thing is going to pick up. It's definitely milled out. The scales have both been milled, so to save on weight. Perfect centering, and just like the Specter, just to show you how awesome they are, they've got those little grooves that the blades fit right in. You can't hide bad centering with a knife design like that, and I think they do that on purpose. The back of this knife has been milled CNC'd to absolute perfection. The titanium scales have been pocketed so that the screws are flush with the scale. Beautiful, 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 beautiful polishing on the spine of the blade. And the action is super, I would say, snappy. You can definitely hear it break that detent. Ooh, man, it's nice. Very lightweight blade, but yet still free dropping. Nice, gorgeous. And again, guys, I'm not going to repeat everything I said in the Specter video. You know, I go into depth of kind of more about the perfection of this knife and what this knife means in the knife making world. This one is in, like I said earlier, M390. You see it there. Let's see if there's anything else. What a cool blade. Beautiful usable blade shape. Very interesting how the drop point comes so far down to that unsharpened area, and then you've got that stretch of the usable knife, but you still have a really good point. And with that hollow grind, guys, this is just going to be an EDC machine. Very, very thin behind the edge. Beautiful mirror polishing. The blade grind is extremely symmetrical. The entire length of the blade, ground very, very even behind the edge. And it is just a thing of beauty. These Holt knives are just incredible. We're definitely in the realm of priciness. I think the Morpheus is definitely cheaper than the Specter. I think these start around $700 and kind of go up from there. I've seen them from like a $700 to like $900 range, somewhere in there. I don't think they're as sought after as the Specter is. This one I believe is actually even discontinued. I don't even know if you can get one of these new anymore. I don't know a ton about Holt. These are obviously not my knives, so just kind of picking up information on Facebook and things like that. But the Morpheuses I definitely see come available a lot more often and for sale, and they don't seem to command quite the price tag that the Specter and some of the other ones cost. That's just simply because of supply and demand, I think, because honestly, this knife is every bit as good from a materials and execution standpoint as the Specter, and in some ways probably even a little bit better, at least as far as the blade is concerned. I think the blade is just an absolute work of art on this thing, and that hollow grind is just, it's just so nice. Beautiful blade, guys. The CNC machining on this knife is just absolutely perfect. They're just gorgeous. They're really just more pocket jewelry at this point than they are actual utility tools. The stonewashing and light polish is just so epic on that blade. But yeah, beautiful knife, guys. Get your hands on a Holt if you can. If you have to unload a couple knives to pay for one of these, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. This is just in a completely different tier of knife as compared to something like a 940. Don't get me wrong, the 940s, you know, they're in a league of their own as far as history and utilitarian is concerned, but it's still a cutting tool. I think when you get into something like a Holt, it's something that you know, 940s are epic, but they're kind of a dime a dozen. There's tons of them out there. They're not very expensive. You can kind of get them in any configuration you want, but once you get up into a knife like this, the level of pride of ownership is just so completely different, and it's something you just want to, you know, kind of sit and admire, honestly. Having had these knives in my collection for the past month, Jason so graciously lent them to me. I just find myself, you know, kind of putting them on my desk or something while I'm working and just kind of admiring them while I'm working. And I know that sounds corny to some people, but the craftsmanship to me is just amazing, and they're just an absolute thing of beauty and art, and they're very just fun to enjoy, and even if you're not using it, just fun to have around and look at. So I know you knife guys know all about that. So amazing, very impressive. I don't think it gets much better than this from a kind of construction standpoint. I think that you get into crazier materials and things like that and more handmade, but as far as execution and machining, it just doesn't get much better, guys. I mean, it's just perfect. So yeah, the Holt Morpheus, beautiful knife. I have not gotten my hands on the haptic, which I think is the third model that they make that along with these two. So hopefully get my hands on one of those, and I'll make sure and bring you guys a video on that as well to check out. Beautiful knives. Definitely, if you got to sell a couple things to get your hands on one at some point, I would say go for it. They're definitely worth owning, and bring a whole new level of enjoyment to your knife collection. So thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not. I really appreciate it. And be sure and leave comments down below. I try to read those and reply whenever I can. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.